Hi everyone, welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie and we are reading the Bible cover to cover this year. I am so glad you're here. We are on day 31. So if you're counting by day, okay, 31 doesn't sound like too much of progress. But if you're counting by months, we are finishing one of only 12 months in reading the whole Bible. So, welcome to the channel. Super happy you've joined me this morning. This is a milestone for me. We are going to be reading out of Genesis 31, but only verses 22 through 55 today. And then we're going to hop into Job 3 and then move to Luke chapter 15, but only verses 1 through 10 today. And then we'll close it out with Psalm 23. So let's see what's happening in Genesis 31, 22 through 55. Laban was told on the third day that Jacob had fled. He took his relatives with him and pursued him 7 days' journey. He overtook him in the mountains of Gilead. God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream of the night and said to him, "Be careful that you don't speak to Jacob either good or bad." Laban caught up with Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mountains, and Laban with his relatives encamped in the mountain of Gilead. Laban said to Jacob, "What have you done, that you have deceived me and carried away my daughters like captives of the sword? Why did you flee secretly and deceive me and didn't tell me, that I might have sent you away with mirth and with songs, with tambourine and with harp, and didn't allow me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Now have you done foolishly. It is in the power of my hand to hurt you. But the God of your father spoke to me last night, saying, 'Be careful that you don't speak to Jacob either good or bad.' Now you want to be gone because you greatly longed for your father's house. But why have you stolen my gods?" Jacob answered Laban, "Because I was afraid, for I said, 'Lest you should take your daughters from me by force.' Anyone you find your gods with shall not live. Before our relatives, discern what is yours with me and take it." For Jacob didn't know that Rachel had stolen them. Laban went into Jacob's tent, into Leah's tent, and into the tent of the 2 female servants, but he didn't find them. He went out of Leah's tent and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the teraphim, put them in the camel's saddle, and sat on them. Laban felt around all the tent, but didn't find them. She said to her father, "Don't let my lord be angry that I can't rise up before you, for I'm having my period." He searched, but didn't find the teraphim. Jacob was angry and argued with Laban. Jacob answered Laban, "What is my trespass? What is my sin that you have hotly pursued me? Now that you have felt around in all my stuff, what have you found of all your household stuff? Set it here before my relatives and your relatives, that they may judge between us two. These 20 years I have been with you. Your ewes and your female goats have not cast their young, and I haven't eaten the rams of your flocks. That which was torn, that which was torn of animals I didn't bring to you. I bore its loss. Of my hand you required it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. This was my situation in the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep fled from my eyes. These 20 years I have been in your house. I served you 14 years for your 2 daughters, and 6 years for your flock, and you have changed my wages 10 times. Unless the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me, surely now you would have sent me away empty. God has seen my affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked you last night." Laban answered Jacob, "The daughters are my daughters, the children are my children, the flocks are my flocks, and all that you see is mine. What can I do today to these my daughters, or to their children whom they have borne? Now come, let's make a covenant, you and I. Let it be for a witness between me and you." Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. Jacob said to his relatives, "Gather stones." They took stones and made a heap. They ate there by the heap. Laban called it Jegar Sahadutha, but Jacob called it Gilead. Laban said, "This heap is witness between me and you today." Therefore it was named Gilead and Mizpah, for he said, "Yahweh watch between me and you when we are absent from one another. If you afflict my daughters, or if you take wives in addition to my daughters, no man is with us. Behold, God is witness between me and you." Laban said to Jacob, "See this heap, and see the pillar which I have set between me and you. May this heap be a witness, and the pillar be a witness, that I will not pass over this heap to you, and that you will not pass over this heap, and that this pillar to me for no harm. The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge between us." Then Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac. Jacob offered a sacrifice in the mountain and called his relatives to eat bread. They ate bread and stayed all night in the mountain. Early in the morning, Laban rose up and kissed his sons and his daughters and blessed them. Laban departed and returned to his place. All right, moving on to Job 3. Job chapter 3. After this, Job opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth. Job answered, "Let the day perish in which I was born, the night which said, 'There is a boy conceived.' Let that day be darkness. Don't let God from above seek for it, neither let the light shine on it. Let darkness and the shadow of death claim it for their own. Let a cloud dwell on it. Let all that makes the day black terrify it. As for that night, let thick darkness seize on it. Let it not rejoice among the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of the months. Behold, let that night be barren. Let no joyful voice come therein. Let them curse it who curse the day, who are ready to rouse up Leviathan. Let the stars of its twilight be dark. Let it look for light but have none, neither let it see the eyelids of the morning. Because it didn't shut up the doors of my mother's womb, nor did it hide trouble from my eyes. Why didn't I die from the womb? Why didn't I give up the spirit when my mother bore me? Why did the knees receive me, or why the breasts that I should nurse? For now I should have lain down and been quiet. I should have slept, then I would have been at rest, with kings and counselors of the earth who built up waste places for themselves, or with princes who had gold, who filled their houses with silver. or as hidden untimely birth I had not been, as infants who never saw light. There the wicked cease from troubling. There the weary are at rest. There the prisoners are at ease together. They don't hear the voice of the taskmaster. The small and the great are there. The servant is free from his master. Why is light given to him who is in misery, life to the bitter in soul, who long for death, but it doesn't come, and dig for it more than for hidden treasures, who rejoice exceedingly and are glad when they can find the grave? Why is light given to a man whose way is hidden, whom God has hedged in? For my sighing comes before I eat. My groanings are poured out like water. For the thing which I fear comes to me. That which I am afraid of comes to me. I am not at ease, neither am I quiet, neither do I have rest. But trouble comes. Oh, those who have not felt that have had a very fortunate life. I will admit, those same words might have passed through my thoughts on some days. But there is purpose. There is always purpose for why we're here. God said that He has allotted the time of man. God knows the number of years, the number of days, the number of minutes that we are supposed to be here. And life is hard, which is important for us to hang on to God. When the days are misery, when life is exasperating, when year after year after year, it's a pummeling, we hold on to God. We hold on to Him with our hearts and with our prayers and in our relationship with Him. Never give up. Don't ever give up. Anyways, Luke chapter 15, 1 through 10. Sorry about that. All right, starting with chapter 15. Now all the tax collectors and sinners were coming close to him to hear him. The Pharisees and the scribes murmured, saying, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." He told them this parable. "Which of you men, if you had 100 sheep and lost one of them, wouldn't leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after the one that was lost until he found it? When he has found it, he carries it on his shoulders, rejoicing. When he comes home, he calls together his friends and his neighbors, saying to them, 'Rejoice with me, for I found my sheep which was lost.' I tell you that even so, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over the 99 righteous people who need no repentance. Or what woman, if she had 10 drachma coins, if she lost one drachma coin, wouldn't light a lamp? Let me start that over. We're starting at verse 8. I'm having a little trouble with my eye today. Or what woman, if she had 10 drachma coins, if she lost one drachma coin, wouldn't light a lamp, sweep the house, and seek diligently until she found it? When she has found it, she calls together her friends and neighbors, saying, 'Rejoice with me, for I have found the drachma which I had lost.' Even so, I tell you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner repenting." Oh, there is hope. And now we're going to close it out in Psalm 23. That chapter might sound familiar to some. This is a psalm by David. Yahweh is my shepherd. I shall lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters, and he restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and loving kindness shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in Yahweh's house forever. Oh, another fantastic day. Thank you so much for closing out day 31 with me. I am so glad you're here. Please hold on to these words today. There's a lot of comfort in here. There's a lot of sorrow that we might be able to relate to. And then we grab onto Psalm 23 and we hold on and we stay in relationship with Jesus, who loves us. He loves you. He loves me. And he is not going to let us go. We have to stay in relationship with him. So, with that, I wish you the very best day, and we will see you tomorrow for day 32. Bye.